Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button as well as the like button. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. Had a great weekend, man. Health is good. Finally, I think I recovered from the jet lag of Italy. Dude, that shit was kicking my ass, bro. I'm like, do I have COVID? Like, yeah, I was fucking miserable, bro. But had a great weekend. Went to Orlando for 24 hours. Anyone who knows me, I'm a huge soccer fan. Arsenal was visiting. They had like an American tour. So, dude, like, I realize now, like, how hooliganism is a thing in Europe. Because, bro, when you're drinking for 4 hours before the game, and then for the 2 hours during the game, and then you're leaving with like 40,000 other fans after the game, bro, I can see how tensions can get high. And you're like, yo, I'll fuck you up, bro. If you look at me the wrong, like that tension was definitely in the air. So, but besides that, no one got hurt. And it was definitely a fun weekend, bro. But yeah, life is good right now. How about you?
My weekend was all right. I honestly didn't do too much. I played.
Did you have a friend visiting?
Yeah, but they left on Wednesday evening. They were only here for a few days. They were kind of the last leg of their trip.
Okay.
So we took them out to a couple different spots, nothing too out of the ordinary. And then this weekend just kind of stayed home, really. Wifey was out hanging out with friends on Saturday. I kind of took it easy, did a little bit of music stuff, and then mostly played video games.
Nice, dude. Sometimes you just need that fucking time to just like...
It was good, but I also spent like nearly the entire weekend playing. So when Sunday night came, I was like, fuck. Like I kind of had this urge to like just do something else. I'm like, fuck, like this, I could use another day or something. But I mean, working from home makes Mondays a lot less stressful and depressing than I guess they used to be. But yeah, the weekend was
have
good.
You guys on pace to, you're not going back until next year, or has that changed?
We at this point it's still up in the air. I think so. We have like a yearly conference thing. It was supposed to I think it happens in the fall every year, but they postponed it till January, I want to say. So I think in their minds, especially with the recent cases, they're probably like, we'll deal with it early 2023, which is insane to think about because 2020 feels like it was yesterday.
Dude, like that meme of like, you know, that like white actor that's like, you know, with the blinking that's like aggressive. Like it's like you blink, it's March 2020, your eyes close, and it's like August 2022. You're like, how the fuck did we get here, bro? Like,
right. I will say though, besides working from home, the nice thing I think about 2020, if there is anything nice about it, was I feel like I can, even though time is moving fast, I have a more an easier time remembering like each of those years. Whereas if it didn't happen, like unless I switched a job or moved somewhere, like I think it would have been more of a blur. Because for me, like 2015 to 2018 is kind of a blur. If I
dude, I'm glad you say that because I totally agree, bro. So like for me, it was 2014 to 2018 was a massive blur. Like I moved to Charlotte, and then it's like I just kind of like strolled through life. I think I mentioned that on the pod before.
Yeah.
And then I think like COVID happened, and obviously so much went down. Me and my mom, you and your brother, you know, there's a fucking new crazy event every day in the world. I think it just made us, you know, I don't want to speak for you, but it kind of just made us like feel like you better appreciate today. Because you know what I mean? Like, and that's why I do, like, to your point, like, yo, I could remember almost like, if you asked me what I did on April 26th of 2021, I can tell you exactly what the fuck happened.
Right. Yeah, that's what's crazy about it. And you would think it wouldn't be the case because we're like at home now, like 90% of the time. But when I think back to 2021, like damn near each month, I know what I was like somewhat doing. 2020, of course, like everyone remembers that when that shit happened.
But do you think it's because there's fewer things that we can actually do? So when we did it, it felt like even like you coming to Miami, it was like, yo, fuck, dude, every day has to be a movie. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if it's because we're doing fewer things. So those things just feel like we build those things up to like crazy levels where back in the day, we were outside all the time. It's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's that. And I just feel like generally speaking, my mindset is less on work and more on what I'm doing outside of that. And I think generally speaking, that's the kind of shit like most people will remember anyways. So like traveling and meeting up with friends and everything, I feel like ever since 2020 was more my focus in music and everything else, the podcast.
Yeah.
Whereas before that, it was like, I think I was just so much more leaning into my career, and half the time, like, I mean, every day is somewhat the same. So I think it's harder to remember a lot of stuff outside of like that big trip you took somewhere.
Yeah, I agree, dude. That makes perfect sense. And I feel like, now we just look at like, it's a great job. It's a career. That's fine. But like at the end of the day, like that can't be everything, bro. Because we've realized like the people who do that and then they're not here anymore. It's like, what was the point? You know what I mean? Like, man. But yeah, I definitely agree with this. This series is definitely fucking, it's going to be August on Monday. Like that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Bye, bros. Get into it now. A lot of stuff happened in the music industry, in the world over the past week or so. So love to chop it up. I guess the biggest thing, we can start off with music, which is what we probably don't do enough of, but we can kick it off with that. Rolling Loud happened in Miami. Rolling Loud 2022. We mentioned before, Blair and I actually officially met at Rolling Loud 2017, I want to say. And we've been to a couple together in Miami. Dude, visually it looked cool. I feel like the crowds keep getting bigger and bigger. I think what's alarming for me, and why when people ask me, hey, would you ever go again? I say definitively fucking absolutely not. Is, dude, I feel like the crowd, like I know we're getting older, but the average age of the younger demographic is also getting younger, bro. Like I just see these videos of like 15, 14-year-olds. It's like, bro, like I'm not trying to rage and get drunk and be high or on whatever around you people. You know what I mean? Like that's not what I want to do. So I'm grateful I didn't go. And also I think the sound quality sometimes even better when you watch it on like Twitch or online. Like, I don't know. It's just, the experience on TV and online seem as good that I feel more than fine like having a watch party. But what were your overall thoughts on the 3-day event before we go into specific situations?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I saw the videos and a lot of it was like kids. I don't know if you saw the little clips that Rolling Loud posted on Instagram, but it was like teenagers running towards the camera like, let's fucking go, and getting all crazy. And in my head, I'm like, this shit looks exhausting. Like I would hate to be around kids like this all day, just shouting and throwing shit. There was a video of this guy on top of some sort of crate thing, and he was apparently throwing shit at people, so they were throwing shit back at him, like literally 100 people throwing trash at this one guy. And I'm just like, this is the kind of madness that these events attract. And to your point, especially the demographic, the artists that they select, I feel like a lot of it is like super loud, muffled turn up music that like you can barely even fucking hear. You can't make out a single word.
Barely hear, bro.
Yeah. So ever since then, I mean, the first couple times are cool, but now I much prefer going to a concert to see like one or two artists.
Yeah.
Even if I have a seat or something, even better. Because I can turn up for that and just be in and out. And at least, you know, the people going to that are like genuine fans of that person, or they should be. Whereas Rolling Loud, it could just be like someone who wants to get drunk and fucking holler at girls or some shit.
Yeah. We get nothing wrong with that. But it's tough for people like us because we're going to appreciate the music, right? Like I think I told a couple people actually today, we were just talking about this shit, about the concert. I mean, about the festival. Like, I would only do Coachella again, even though I don't want to do it again because I'm like, it's still 3 days, like standing. Again, you get tired. But dude, that is such a safe, clean, carefree environment that you can properly appreciate music and never feel overwhelmed, right? Like if you want to be right by the stage and amongst the crowd and like this, you can do that. But if you want to be towards the back and just have it in front of you, you can do that. If you want to smoke on the lawn and not feel like a stampede is going to come and fucking kill you in between sets, you can do that, bro. So that's why I highly recommend Coachella to anyone who actually loves music, because comparing that to Rolling Loud, it's like you should even compare. Like it's fucking night and day. Like the chaos. Bro. I remember that when we went 2017, and like when they, again, granted it was a smaller venue then, But dude, that moment when like people ran from one stage to go see Migos at the other stage, but like there was only one way to go. So like, bro, if you're not heading in that direction, you feel like fucking Simba from Lion King about to be fucking destroyed by the fucking antelope. Like, it's just like, yo, like, it's too much, bro. So yeah, shit like that is why, like, yo, I agree with you. I would only go see specific artists. Like, I'll go see them live. Like, I'll go see Tyler live. I'll go see Kid Cudi live. Right. I'm not going and there's going to be fucking a bunch of 14 and 13-year-olds there losing their fucking minds.
Right. And for me, the biggest, like, my jaw dropped when I saw the first Rolling Loud lineup because I had never heard of it. I was like, literally 30 of artists I like are gonna be at this event. I'm like, it was a no-brainer at that point.
Was that the one you met? Was that the first one you been to?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, same, dude. I was like, whoa. They do that in Miami. They just have like the best hip hop artists. Like, I was like blown away. I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to this shit. Like when Sarah reached out to me, I was like, I've never heard of this, but I'll do it. You know what I mean? Like, this is like no shit.
Yeah. So at that point, it was cool. Even the next few times I went, and I think it was dope just because the third or fourth time, like, it just so happened my brother's girl worked for Insomniac who used to run it. So we got to get up front a couple of times. But yeah, after that, I think the demographic is just kind of not only ruining the festival experience, but I think hip hop in general, it's just like full of childish trolls and shit now. It's not, I feel like anyone over 25, like, is no longer the majority, at least online and at these events. Yeah,
which is weird. Because I mean, even going back to our previous point about working from home, you would think 25-year-olds and up have more time to listen to music at home, right, while they're working. So I remember, like, I think academics made a point previously, like, who's really the people listening to music and making these numbers go up? It's kids, right? Because kids are done with school over the summer. They're done with school at 3:00 every day, and they have all the time in the world to listen to shit. So I get why they are present, but it's like almost like, bro, like, should you be present? I feel like these events should be 18 plus, 21 plus, just to make it a safer environment for all, bro. Because I would say, again, rest in peace of the dead, but like, the shit that happened at Astroworld could probably have been avoided if there were just fewer kids there. You know what I mean? Just like fewer kids just not knowing how to act in a very chaotic environment where you would think an adult would be better prepared for shit like that.
Right. Yeah, 100% agree. They probably lose out on a shit ton of money, but
yeah, they're not going to risk it. I mean, I get why they don't want to do it, but as a fucking like person who's like, I would go if they're like, I do, we can get like 10 more of you. Like, we don't care. Like, so I get it.
Yeah.
From a marketing
or they'll
standpoint.
incentivize you to go to get the VIP package or whatever. So you can be with the
right. With the people who can afford it. Yeah, totally. So do you think that demographic had a part to play in day one's chaoticness? And for those who don't know, obviously I'll post a picture here later, but Kid Cudi was performing, closed the show. He filled in for Kanye, and then I guess a bunch of trolls or whatever, they kept throwing shit on the stage. One bottle hit him, and then he told them, hey, don't fucking do it again. And then 5 seconds later, another bottle came and he just walked off the stage. And then kudos for him for fucking sticking to his word. So do you think that demographic is to blame for all that shit that went down?
For sure. And I saw the video of the guy who threw the bottle. He looked pretty young, definitely looked under 25 to me. And I don't know if the 18 and over like policy would necessarily prevent this. I feel like there's a lot of immature ass people who are even older than 25.
Facts.
I don't know what it is about attending these shows, like whether it's comedy or music or whatever, but I think people just enjoy the power that they get over these celebrities or whoever's hosting the show, essentially, and they just find pleasure in fucking it up for everyone else or just the person who's running the show. And I think it's, I don't know, low-key sociopathic or some shit, because I don't know why, even if you don't like Kid Cudi, what's gonna compel you to like throw shit at someone while they're being paid to put on a show, especially someone like that who I I don't know, just doesn't deserve that kind of
treatment. Yeah,
treatment at all. Like, I don't care what he said about Kanye or whoever else. Like, unless he fucked your girl or something, like, I don't know why you're doing this shit.
Yeah, and one thing is like, why do that shit when you know, like, if you were just walking across, if you were standing across the street for him, you're not doing that.
Right.
So, like, to your point, they feel so empowered in that environment. Like, oh, if I do this, more people will do it, and the blame won't be on me. Or if I see someone else do it, I'll do it. Blah blah blah. Like, yeah, that logic is crazy to me. But then, do you think it's that, or do you think there's just enough pissed off Kanye fans who really wanted Kanye to be that person, and that could have been anyone, they were gonna get that same treatment?
I mean, if that was part of it, I feel like that's like 10% of it. I think a lot of people just want clout. I'm sure he knew he was going to end up on Instagram, or even if he didn't, he would see Kid Cudi getting pissed, and then he could send it to his boys and be like, haha, like, that was me.
Yeah.
Like, that was so lit, man. I was so fucked up, blah, blah. And I think people just at this point really want attention. They'll do the dumbest shit for some attention. And unfortunately, that's one of them, which is why, as a performer, like, I don't know how I would deal with that kind of behavior.
Dude, I thought he handled it very well.
Like, he did. He just walked off.
Yeah, just walked off, right? Because I feel like I can see other artists jumping into the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
And at that point, you're literally prepared to die. Because, bro, there's fucking 15,000 people that you're like, dude, that's just not going to end well for you.
Like, or pay like $100,000 lawsuit or some shit.
Yeah. And dude, probably in the millions, bro. Because God forbid someone else dies, they're suing you for inciting the riot in the first place, right?
Yeah.
But bro, you know what was also weird? Like, I don't know if you heard the audio when that happened. Dude, the amount of fans, I wonder, do you think the fans were cursing at Cudi or cursing at the guy who threw it?
I'd have to listen.
Bro, it was like loud. They were like, fuck you. But like, they didn't say it to who, but it was like, fuck you, you son of a bitch. And I was like, bro, are you cursing at the guy who got hit in the head with a bottle that was just there to perform, or the idiot who threw it? Because like...
Yeah. I'd have to listen again. The way I interpreted it when I first heard it was that they were pissed at the guy who threw the bottle.
Okay.
But at the same time, I didn't see anyone like shove him or start throwing shit at him.
Yeah, because there's moments that it felt like they were yelling at Cudi. Like, how dare you? Don't walk off, bro. Don't be a bitch. And I was like, bro, like, I don't really, like, dude, like, if that kept happening, dude, like, you can't perform like that, bro. Like, there's no fucking way. Like,
I could have sworn I heard some like, oh, like disappointment.
Well, again, obviously they have like those videos on YouTube are all from people's phones. I'm sure like different angles, different sounds. But the one I heard was aggressive, bro. I was like, fuck you, you piece of shit. Go fuck yourself. But I'm like, bro, who are you mad at, bro? Like,
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But the funny thing is, I completely forgot he and Kanye were like even on bad terms or whatever. Like, that didn't occur to me why someone would do it. Because people do this shit to damn near like the baby. I don't think that fucking remember the Adidas that
the Adidas.
That's Adidas that almost hit him. Like,
that was actually a year ago today, by the way.
Yeah, and I saw the same thing happen to Jack Harlow, who doesn't do anything to people. I think people just want to fuck with people. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, dude. I think you're right. I think it's like you're saying earlier. I think it's like a mob mentality. You feel like, yo, there's so many of us. Like, I can't get in trouble. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I can just do dumb shit now. Yeah, dude. I don't know, man. Because then I think about it, bro. I was doing some wild ass fucking gestures to a bunch of random Chelsea fans in Orlando, but maybe because I felt empowered, like, well, there's more Arsenal fans here with me, so fuck them. Like, maybe, I don't know, it's not the same thing, but like something about that mob mentality can get you going, like, get really excited. Yeah, dude, shout out to the Cudi, bro. Glad he didn't get hurt, but yeah, dude, I would support him walking off 10 out of 10 times because that shit's uncalled for. But what's even more uncalled for, I think, is like, do you think that like Ye gave it up thinking whatever, like, I don't want to do it, I've been out the spotlight, I'm trying to like get my head right because this whole like Pete Davidson thing, and then once he found out Cudi was going to be there and took his spot, that he just tried to figure it out ways to like, how can I still show up and like steal the spotlight? Because him coming out for the Dirk performance was, even though it was a good performance, I was like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, you could have been the headliner. Why would you do this version of this? Like, you could have been the guy.
Yeah. You're saying, do I think he pulled out because of the Cuddy situation?
Do you think he only showed up for Dirk's performance and like wanted to steal the spotlight because Cuddy is the one who ended up with the headlining spot that he had?
No, I don't think he wanted to steal the spotlight, but I think I don't know. I think he enjoys like these surprise appearances that he makes at these shows. Okay. I don't know if I personally, I doubt it's related to Cuddy, but I think he just likes kind of toying with people's emotions, almost like Elon in a way. Like tweet one thing one day, and then the next day you take it back, and then you just sit back and marvel at people fucking losing their minds. I feel like Kanye just was like, let me pretend I'm not coming, and then just pop up and do this and get all kinds of praise and make people excited.
Yeah, that's funny. The rumor. Do you think it was actually Kanye though?
Oh, I saw that rumor that it wasn't him. It looked like him, like his mouth and everything. Like
I 100% think it's him. Like the way that like through the wrinkles and that, like that's definitely him. Now, what he was wearing was wild, and it was very similar to what he wore at the BET Awards. But instead of like stocking, he was actually painted in black. Like, is it so racist if you're black and you paint yourself in blackface? Because that seemed very like. I was like, what is this, bro? Like, this makes me feel very uncomfortable. Like, I know what you're doing. It's part of your Balenciaga and Gap thing that happened over. I get that. But, like, bro, there could be another way to fucking support that drop and not look like a fucking weirdo, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's racist. Definitely weird, though.
Weird. Yeah, definitely weird. There's, like, uncomfortable. It's like, bro, what are you doing? Like,
yeah.
Because, like, even, like, the thing about, like, I get it's a stunt, right? And we're talking about it. And everyone was talking about it, questioning if it's even him. But then you have to go home and take paint off you, like for a little 5-minute stunt. I'm like, bro,
or
like
pay fucking 15 people to scrub it off you.
Sure, whatever, like get it. But that's like a thing you have to do. And I'm like, bro, you're almost 50. Like, do these like? Why do you keep like? I don't know. It's just weird to me that like these stunts are still a part of his like normal artistry. And it's just like, I get, we're talking about it. We've been saying for a while, like publicity and fame and clout is the biggest currency in the world right now. But it's just like, bro, like, I feel like you're like Jay-Z, Drake, Kendrick level, bro. Like you shouldn't have to fucking fall to these little like shock value things to get our attention.
I don't know. I feel like when people get to that level, like they've achieved such greatness that no matter how fucking weird and strange it is, like they're going to have a huge portion of their fan base that just says this is the most groundbreaking, daring,
genius,
bold, genius move ever. So he can literally like, I don't know, fucking come out in wear a Pete Davidson costume and look just like him or some shit. And people are going to say that's the greatest thing he's ever done in his career.
Yeah. Again, I just said that point. I obviously it was him, but I mean, I thought the performance was cool. That was cool that Dirk brought him out. Like the DJs, like the whole setup was dope. But it was just like, my bro, you could have had a 45-minute set. Like if you would have just stayed on the fucking on the headline. But whatever, it is what it is. From the videos you saw, what was the standout performance for you?
Standout performance. Honestly, I didn't see
standout moment.
Standout moment. I'm trying to think. I did hear that Uzi's performance didn't look too great. My wife sent me a clip, and apparently he was just kind of.
It's just weird. Like, and it's just, at some point gets weird. It's like, bro,
like he kind of had a Playboy Cardi gothic thing going on.
Yeah, and then he said he changed his pronouns to they them, and he just had a shirt that said they them, and then like
for real,
with a barcode thing to scan to
I think a lot of rappers, once they reach this height, I don't know what it is, but they're obsessed with this whole rock star label, like I'm this sex symbol, and anything I do that's weird is dope and brand new. And maybe he does identify with they them for real, but it's just interesting to me that they have to reach this height before they start doing just completely random shit. And I feel like it's kind of out of boredom too.
Yeah. No, dude, you're spot on, bro. Like, I saw some of his set and I was like, okay, like, sure, like this is what you do now, like that's fine. I think a standout for me, I mean, bringing out Travis Scott was dope.
Oh yeah. I don't know how I forgot about that.
Yeah, the
like,
Travis moment was dope. Shout out to Future for doing that. And bro, like it kind of makes sense now because we were talking about this for a while when Hold That Heat came out. Like that's the perfect song to come back for, right? Like that song is made, like that's not a muffly mumbled song, but it's a perfect song for a festival. Like bro, people lost their fucking minds when that hook dropped, right? And that the production's A1. So yeah, that was definitely a moment in hip hop. And again, just further testifies what we've been saying for the past like month. Like, dude, Travis is back, bro. And that shit, whatever happened, and it sucks. It's been less than a year. And, you know, hopefully those families, you know, can grieve in peace and, you know, they get some compensation to help them with that. But as far as him specifically and his crew, they are fully back, bro.
And I think you sent me that link that, what's his brand? The Cactus Jack, hard seltzers or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's back.
Going on. Yeah, all that shit's back. So it's funny because a lot of these brands were just kind of hiding behind closed doors, waiting for all this shit to disappear. I'm sure they even told him like, "Yo, we gotta cancel this shit for now."
That goes to his like, because again, rest in peace to the dead. But like with Kobe, right? With Kobe Bryant, like all those brands left him when he got that rape charge. But Nike stood by him, right? Maybe not verbally, but like, yo, we're not gonna cut you. Like, you're our guy. We may not support you, but like, we're not cutting you.
Yeah.
It's wild that Travis Scott has that pull. Because, bro, all these brands, like, they never went away, to your point. They just stood back for a little bit. Like Christian Dior, Michael, like Nike, the cacti thing. Like, yo, they were just waiting. Like, they were just waiting, hey, let the shit die down, and we'll go right back to pushing 1 million products for you. And it's just like, wow, bro, this motherfucker has crazy pull for a dude who I don't even think is 30 yet, right? Like, and you would think, like, his career's only really been, 6-7 years? To think that, yo, you're, like, that guy is wild.
Yeah, I mean, ever since he got with Kylie, his stock went up, and I feel like he's pretty much untouchable now.
Clearly untouchable, bro.
Yeah.
Cause we both, when that shit went down, we're like, yo, our man's like, maybe he's not done, but you better go disappear somewhere for maybe a couple years, bro. Cause this shit's not gonna die down. Like, they're not gonna want you at a festival, and then boom, like, yo, he has back-to-back festivals happening now because of this. Like, it's, yo, shout out to him, bro, because did not expect that whatsoever.
Yeah, I forget if it was this performance or what, but were there any moments where he stopped the show to like make sure people weren't basically trampling each other?
Dude, I did not see the full thing, but I do want to think it was this one. And they actually stopped the music at one moment and was like, yeah, and then got right back to it.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the only annoying thing. I mean, if it's for like a few seconds, I guess it's cool. If it's like genuinely a concern, like these people are just pushing, the gates breaking or whatever. But if it's like, hold that, and then like every fucking other 2 words, he's looking around trying to get people to behave, it's gonna be annoying.
It's gonna be a long fucking performance, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, I'm here to fucking rage.
Right.
But again,
shit as long as
I don't think how old are you, 31?
32.
I don't think a 32-year-old married man or a 33-year engaged man with a home and a mortgage is gonna be those fucking people raging to the front. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't. It's more because of shit like that, bro. It's fucking 25 and younger who are ready to fucking die for some shit. It's like, bro, like, I'm trying to go home, bro. Like, what are we? Like, let's enjoy this shit and be chill and like, yeah, we can go crazy, but bro, like, motherfuckers are swinging on each other and like, yo, what are you doing? Like, this shit doesn't matter, bro. So
no, this shit's a movie to them. Like, literally, I think that's unfortunately the problem. These kids like are unable to separate Travis or whoever in the music. Like, they fucking feel like they have to live this out. And I know people want to talk about like demonic frequencies and all that bullshit, but at the end of the day, it's because these kids are just stupid
as fuck,
impressionable,
stupid as fuck. Also, again, and it just, from what I saw from the highlights, I didn't see this full performance, but from what I saw from the highlights, I'm mad that this was their visiting Miami show, like Baby Keem and Kendrick. Cause dude, like I wanted to go to their concert, their world tour so bad, bro. But I just didn't want to go and see them at Rolling Loud, right? And they're not doing a show in Florida. But bro, like their on stage chemistry just comes through like it's no one's fucking business, bro. Like that's crazy to me. Yeah. And then, dude, okay, I want to fucking Google this shit while we're online together. Bro, I think Baby Keem is only 21 years old.
21?
Dude,
actually,
Baby
that's
Keem
not far off.
Is 21 years old, bro.
Okay.
That is insane to me. Bro, that means he produced those beats on Damn when he was like 16, 17. That means he wrote the songs for his current album when he was like 18, 19, 20. Like, bro, that's crazy, bro. Because his album alone, like, again, we've had, like Lex Luger back in the day with Kanye. Like, we've had very young producers come along. So maybe that part's not too shocking, right? But, bro, the lyrics on his body of work, Melodic Blues, is wild. So to even have those thoughts is just, that dude, I'm telling you, bro, like, I know, like, we were excited to listen to that shit, like, after the whole, like, CLB Kanye shit, but, like, that album is just so good, and to think that, God willing, we have years of him left is, dude, lucky us.
Yeah. No, I don't want to, I think we talked about it before, I don't want to make any claims or accusations without any proof. I know there were claims that Kendrick ghost wrote for Baby Keem. I don't know what that means, like if that's similar to Drake, or maybe someone did like a song or like a hook,
or they're like in the room and like hey, try it this way, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think some, like when it's an artist is super young, and has kind of that nepotism,
the greatest cosign of all time.
Yeah, like I think it's easy to be like, oh, your flow even kind of sounds like him, so he must just be doing all your shit. But I feel like it's hard, like if he's this great of a performer and can do all this shit.
The performance, bro, is that's like him performing. Like I think he's calling it like classic rage, because it's just so like, bro, like it's under control, but then it's not, and it just it's a beautiful. I'm telling you, man, like it's a beautiful fucking thing, bro. Like I would highly pay to go watch them. Again, I just don't want to have to get on a flight, go to Atlanta and watch them. Like, and, I mean, I'd rather like drive 30 minutes to go see them. But yeah, bro. Like I said, if you guys listening to this, wherever you're at, if they're coming through, go watch them. Because again, I think from what I saw Rolling Loud, people were losing their fucking minds again to like just, Kendrick just, doing Kendrick things.
And you know what's crazy too is a YouTuber put out a video yesterday that I watched, and apparently Baby Keem, when he was like 14, so like 8 years ago or whatever, he was like a video game streamer, like a Twitch.
Oh, really?
guy. But he wasn't big at that point.
Sure.
But he was like on forums, like asking about how to build a computer so he could like, I guess, game more, and he had a whole channel and everything. And then I don't know if like he just went, knee deep into music right after or what, but it's crazy that he was just like a regular ass kid on YouTube doing whatever, and then fucking blew up 7 years later. It's
insane. Let's real quick while we're doing it, let's fucking Google Kendrick age. Dude, Kendrick's 35. So like the fact that they have that much chemistry with a 14-year gap is crazy. Like me and my aunt are close. My aunt's only 11 years older than me, but still, like, I don't know, man. Like there's like, when Kendrick was 16 in, high school, this dude was 2. Like they're not hanging out, right? So like fast forward, hey, in Double Your Lifetime, you guys are gonna be like best, like that, man. It's just like a beautiful thing to watch, bro. So so shout out to them. But shout out to the whole Rolling Loud. I didn't hear of any like violence that broke out, or obviously besides the cutting thing, but like there was no reports of shootings or whatever. So hopefully they're getting that part taken care of, because I mean, we joke around like that's also a reason in the past where we haven't wanted to go, because like, I don't really want to catch a fucking random stray because idiots want to be fucking gangster for no reason.
Yeah, that was kind of the more surprising thing for me, if anything, was the fact that nothing super serious went down. Obviously, thank God. nothing happened. But I feel like that's always a concern. Unfortunately, these hip hop shows kind of have that stigma tied to them because it attracts, a certain crowd that likes to get buck wild.
Yeah, but I think it's also like, dude, as you get like just more like, dude, the sponsors they have are real like corporate sponsors now. So I feel like they have to come correct with security checks and like, yeah, dude, I get you're friends with that guy backstage, but I have to pat you down, and if you have a gun, you can't come in, kind of a thing. Like I'm hoping it has to do more with that, because again, when you start having, these corporate Fortune 500 companies, sponsoring you, you have to move a little bit different,
100%.
Cool. All right, Bet. So moving on to some other things. Another, it's like a random thing, brother, I just wanted to talk about, just because I saw a video that I saw, it reminded me, Kodak had a moment on stage as well. I think last night that he brought King Combs out for their song "Can't Stop, Won't Stop," and then I just saw their video. Song's fine. Like I appreciate the homage to Little Kim and Biggie's song, or maybe a little bit Little Kim and Caesar's song from back in the day. The song got 2.4 million views
on YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah. So it's been out for like a week, or I think like not even a week yet. And it's like, is that the power of Kodak, or are people actually like fans of King Combs? So I wanted to ask like your thoughts on that, because I'm thoroughly confused.
It's interesting that you brought it up, because I was actually just online kind of reading up on music streaming and things like that. And I don't know, you'd be surprised, I guess, at how many of these artists, not necessarily fake streams, but like will buy ads. I don't know to what extent they do that, but I definitely see ads from like popular artists from time to time. So I feel like when I see those stats, like regardless of how high or low if it's a really high number or unexpectedly high number, I kind of question if like the label, bought half those views or what the case is. I definitely think it's, if anyone's responsible, 100% Kodak.
Yeah, dude.
I don't think anyone's really checking for King Combs. I think he makes good music, but like I haven't literally heard anyone be like, yo, check out his mixtape or his album or whatever the case is. Like I just kind of see him around with like Chris Brown here and there, or doing like a cool like kind of throwback ish like modernized version of some shit that was in the 90s.
Yeah,
but that's pretty much all I've like heard from him. I don't even know what he does outside of that.
Yeah, he's always dancing, like his dad. He's just always fucking dancing. Which again, he's like, dude, I like, me and my boy were texting about this like yesterday. Like, yo, like if we die, I want to come back as King Combs, bro. Like King Combs has been the shit since he's like 1 week old. You know what I mean? Like his life has been phenomenal, right? So shout out to him. But yeah, like to your point, like it has to be Kodak, bro, because Kodak can do this video with King Combs just to, get that bad boy check and be cool with Diddy. But then Kendrick can bring him out on his album and it all makes sense, right? I feel like there's like Kodak's in a spot right now where he can do no fucking wrong. So, yeah, but how do you feel about King Combs' music? I'm not even cutting you off, but how do you feel about King Combs' music in general? Like, do you enjoy that throwback, like just trying to recreate it? Or do you feel like it's kind of like, all right, bro, but you're trying too hard to sound like your dad and what your dad was doing?
Yeah, this will be a good talking point too later once we get to like Heat of the Week and stuff. But I enjoy it, but it's not really my style. Like I don't like the kind of cheap nostalgia play. Like Saweetie, for instance, like I think all of her most popular singles are just samples from the 90s and 2000s, like my Type and the Blow the Whistle Too Short one. I think that's the one, right?
Yeah.
And after a while, it just gets old. It's like, all right, now you just make me want to listen to the old shit. Like it's cool if you do that occasionally.
Yeah.
But like if your whole niche is just redoing and reliving those moments that your dad and other people are part of, it's I just think it's not going to be creative enough to stick for the long term personally.
Yeah, and that's also like my criticism that I think I've mentioned the pod before any of the Tory Lanez shit went down with Megan. Like, I didn't really fuck with Tory that much because I'm like, bro, like all these chinks is like, bro, like at some point, like, what do you do? Right?
Yeah.
I get you can sound like other people and it's creative, but what do you do, bro? Like, what do you sound like? Because I don't know what your sound is. That's how I feel at times with Tory. But yeah, dude, I agree with King Combs. Again, he's like 21, 22, like child, or I don't know if he's 20 or whatever, but he's a kid. Clearly, there's some talent there, right? Because he had a song on the Pop Smoke album, Diana, I think that was actually very good and very catchy that I enjoyed. But yeah, I would say 95% of what we're getting is, oh, your dad had this song? All right, let's make the song 95% exactly the same, but slightly different with some modern day references. And it's like, bro, like, I don't want to hear a fucking 12-track album of that. You know what I mean? Like, I can just go listen to Bad Boy Forever and be good with my life. You know what I mean? So, like, that's what I think the struggle for him specifically will be later. But again, in my mind, like, does he even care? Right? Like,
right. That's why I feel like he probably doesn't.
No, like, why would you? Like,
yeah. And I mean, I do appreciate the fact that it's kind of a change of pace from the stereotypical like street shit we always get from every new rapper, basically. I feel like he makes good, fun, like pool party music.
Yeah, pool party. Basically. Yeah, that's a great phrase. But again, I don't I mean, we can go back to like a bunch of different things, but like to the Jack Harlow thing, maybe comparison, but like at some point, I think there's going to come in a time in his place, in his life, that he's like, all right, but what am I doing this for? Like, am I just, because like, personally for me, and again, I don't want to criticize a child, right? But just for the sake of just music and the artistry, you're just like a caricature. Like, that's all you are. Like, you're a bad boy puppet, right? Like, daddy loves you, which is, dude, and again, anyone would be envious of his position. This is not an envy thing. I'm just saying, like, dude, you're just like, hey, we want to have Bad Boy live on forever. So, all right, son, you look just like me. Here's a bunch of money. Here's the best producers. Just go do all these things, right? And it's just like, all right, man. But at some point, don't you want to figure out what you can do? That's why kind of like, I know Jaden Smith has kind of fallen off these last couple of years, but like,
brought that up.
He's phenomenal. Like, he was different, bro. He could have just been the fucking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air 2.0. Yeah. But he's like, no, bro, I want to make different music. I want to be my own artist. I'm like, yo, I respect that so much more because there was risk with that. Like, there's no risk with this. Like, you're a bad boy artist. It's 2022, but you're still making songs we enjoyed back in 2001. It's like, all right, bro, but like, I don't want to hear this shit anymore.
Right. And I will say, I think that with Jaden, at least he had what, like 4 songs he could have recreated before nothing would be recognizable for Will Smith, essentially. Yeah. But I feel like King Combs is definitely pigeonholing himself if he's gonna kind of thrive off the nostalgia factor. And I know there's some other rappers who've done it from time to time. It's cool again if it's like a one-off remix or something, right? Just to showcase your versatility or whatever. But when that becomes your whole thing, like there's no long-term game in that because there's only so many songs you can possibly do before you run out and have to do your own original kind of shit.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the main here. At some point, you're gonna have to be original. But again, dude, good for him to ride the wave. At the end of the day, he can say he was a part of the closing act at Rolling Loud 2022, and people were clapping for him, right? So, like, dude, that's still a fucking. Again, I don't want to poo-poo his moment because, again, whatever the numbers are very high for him right now. So good for him. I just don't see how this, to your point, is a long-term vision. It's just like, yo, like, you're fucking old enough. You can start cursing now, but still keep it exactly what your dad was doing, 25 years ago. Yeah.
And speaking of caricatures, I was going to ask, like with Kodak, I wonder what it seems like he has this indescribable and unexplainable wide appeal across hip hop. Like he's not just mingling with the street dudes. And I don't know if it's because he's like, I don't know, the epitome of like a hood nigga who goes through trials and tribulations 24/7, and they're just like, we got to fuck with him and put him on. Like, I don't know where all these cosigns are coming from.
Dude, but like, even like Barstool cosigns, like, you know what I mean? Like, you would think, like, not to be a dick, but you would think white America would be terrified of the idea of a Kodak Black being successful. and he's like thoroughly embraced by them. You know what I mean? So
I just hope it's not the whole we're laughing at him and not with him type of thing, you know? Like, oh, he's just dumb street dude who's gonna say wild shit. Let's put him on.
Yeah, but that's where I think it is. I think it is that to a certain extent, but then you have to respect him because when he actually gets on the mic, he's not just a dumb street dude, right? He actually says shit that you're like, yo, fuck, dude, how did you even think about putting that shit together, right? So I think the smart comes through in his lyrics, whereas I think like some people who are caricatures, like Yachty, right? I think there's moments of Yachty's like career where like, bro, like, what the fuck are you doing? That's why, like, not to go on a Joe Budden rant because I look like him, but like when Joe Budden went off on him, that was his biggest. It's like, bro, you're smart. Like, what? Like, why are you on the mic saying the dumbest fucking shit? And I think it's like in reverse for Kodak. It's like, bro, like I'm gonna be silly and dumb as fuck in these interviews, but bro, like when I get on the mic, this shit's like I take this shit very serious enough for one of the goats to be like, yo, you're gonna be on like 4 songs of my album. You know what I mean? Like that cosign's crazy. And I don't think you get that cosign and people actually think you're dumb. I think initially maybe, but like, yo, when he's on the mic, it's like, bro, like you can't, you're like, yo, is that really Kodak, bro? Because I just saw you in the interview act like a fucking idiot, but apparently like you spit crazy shit that I wouldn't even think that you would even know how to put certain words together.
Maybe he has ties we don't even know about because, I mean, Trump did pardon him and...
Yo, facts.
I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? That shit still confuses me, but who knows?
Yeah, but I think that point, Trump was so fucking desperate for the black vote that he's like, bro, I'll fucking release anyone. Just name a name, bro. Like, name a name and they're out today.
Yeah. That's wild.
But yeah, great question, though. All right, bro, so what we'll probably do, you tell me if you want to do this. So I think it may make sense. Let's have like an extended Heat of the Week, episode 115, because I think we're both on the same page of like who we want to talk about, and that person being Joey Badass. So Joey Badass dropped an album last weekend called 2000, a follow-up, I guess kind of a follow-up to his legendary mixtape that dropped a few years back called 1999. So before I jump in, your thoughts on the body of work. Let's talk about the body of work itself before we go into what songs stood out for us.
Word. So before I even heard the album, I'll be honest, I never really checked for Joey Badass like that in the past. I knew of him, but the reason why I liked our conversation before this started was I felt like he kind of catered to the nostalgia factor of the 90s. Like, let me bring back real hip hop and rap over like kind of dusty vinyl beats. And I do appreciate that, but it over time, it kind of becomes monotonous and almost inauthentic in a way. If I feel like someone's just trying really hard to bring back something that we've moved past, even when it comes to like movies and shit, I'm like, do we really need to like reference the first movie like 1,000 times? Like, this is the sequel, move on. Like,
okay,
we need something new. So I kind of like feel that way with music in general if it's gives too many nods to the past. But I always appreciated his lyricism. He kind of reminded me of Mobb Deep at times. But what really
and Havoc is Havoc on the album? No, I take that back. I was listening to mixtape. No, he's not.
But I heard Where I Belong, I believe it's called, a couple weeks ago, and I saw the video, and I don't know.
I gotta watch the video then, bro.
Yeah, the video is amazing. Song. It has kind of like a what is it? VHR? Damn, I'm
VHS.
Everything. VHS, yeah, VHS feel to it. So it feels 90s and everything, but it also feels like a modernized version. The production was dope. And I just kind of fell in love with the song, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, I haven't heard of from him in years, and this is a dope comeback that I could get behind. Pause. And and then he released that other song. What is it called? Fuck.
I don't even know because I wasn't checking for any of his singles before this shit dropped, so I don't even know.
So that's what got me. Is the 2 singles, Zip Codes.
Zip Code.
I won't go into the whole song itself, but basically after I heard the 2 singles, I was like, oh shit, like I really want to check out his album. Unfortunately, he was actually performing in San Francisco this past weekend, but
damn, that would have been dope.
I ended up I don't know, for some reason I was like, I don't know if I want to spend the money and time if I don't hear like some other stuff in advance, and I did.
Sure.
But the album itself I thought was amazing. I feel like the reason why I liked it was because the production felt upgraded from the previous stuff I've heard. I'm not the biggest fan of like super political, social justice rap, which I feel like his last album was mostly, just because over time it becomes kind of cliche for me. Like,
what was the album called? American Badass?
American All-American Badass.
That's what it was. Dude, and that shit came out in 2015, 2016.
Yeah, long ass time ago, 2016 or
yeah, because he became like he really became like an actor these past couple of years. Like that's like what he's been doing.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah. So because I know he had that one really. What was that one big single on All
Devastated.
American?
I fucking
love
that
That's the
song.
one, bro.
Yeah.
That's the song that I got like introduced to him. And then, but the majority of the album wasn't that sound.
No.
So I was thrown off, and I was like, all right, whatever, dude. Maybe it's like a one-hit wonder, and then that's all right. I got you. I'm calling down.
And that's why I like this album, because I feel like he is more versatile on this one. There's more variety. Like he even on Cruise Control sings kind of here and there, and I feel like that's what I need from like me artists in general, is just versatility. Like you can spit bars and stuff over beats and have puns, but like if there's not variety in the melody and shit and the flow, I feel like it's not going to work out as well. I think he could have done it a little more on it. I wish there were maybe
like
some
more moments
here
of
and there.
singing.
Yeah, like, or not even necessarily singing, just like memorable hooks and moments. Because I feel like there were great storytelling moments and things like that, but outside of a handful of tracks, I don't know if I could necessarily like regurgitate like some bars that like really resonated and made me like remember it essentially. But outside of that, I think it was phenomenal. I haven't really heard anything like this come from anyone else. I was actually going to make the comparison of why I have like a love-hate relationship with Dave East is because I think he's lyrically a lot stronger than most artists out. I think when it comes to creating songs though, there's just a lot of stuff missing, like melodically, production wise.
Ladies love him though, bro.
Yeah, ladies love him. I mean, he's like a fucking 9 foot tall, pretty boy, but I think
but thug just as well though.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
like...
boy thug. Yeah, it's like the perfect toxic combination for a lot of these girls.
He will kill it on TikTok, bro, because that's all I fucking see is
right. But I think Joey Badass took the I'm a New York MC whatever and made solid songs that people actually want to replay.
Yeah, so before I give my take on it, as an LA guy, a West Coast guy, were you still able to resonate with this even though it's like through and through like New York like energy?
I was able to resonate with it. I think, because I'm a huge fan of like Mobb Deep and stuff.
Okay.
And I think that sound is still something I peep.
Dude, especially because you're also like a big Alchemist guy. So that's like that sound is so Alchemist inspired.
Right. And like Prodigy is literally one of my favorite rappers ever. So
nice.
I don't think I have an issue vibing with it. I think I'm just like a sucker for like build up moments in songs and like hooks and things like that kind of enhance the overall feel. But I think he still did a solid job with it.
Yeah, because I was wondering more so like
or you're talking about like the storytelling or
no, just like in general, like just because it's like you cannot deny like you listen to like there's some artists where you can listen to them like I don't know where they're from, right?
Yeah.
But this is like very New York, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas like for example with me, like there's moments where I wanted to get into YG. Sorry, YG. I don't know why the fuck I lisped that. YG, but I couldn't, bro, because just like the sound was just like, bro, like it's just like too much, bro. Like you know what I mean? So like I just wanted the other way around of like, hey, like bro, like it's good, but it's just too much for me.
I get what you're saying. I think West Coast music is somewhat of an acquired taste, and I don't think it's as like, or even before, universally like played as much as maybe East Coast music was at a certain point in time. And I feel
That's
like a lot
fair.
of the references and shit in West Coast music, like unless you're here, like it won't
Yeah, they're so specific.
feel the same. Yeah, they're
that
so
it's like-
specific. Like
Yeah.
the streets they mentioned, even some of the shit Kendrick says. Like even though I didn't grow up in the hood, I still like drive past these places or like know people who live near it and shit. So like it still feels like I'm part of his conversation, I guess.
Sure.
Whereas with Joey Badass and New York artists in general, I don't think they really kind of isolate their listeners a whole lot. I feel like they just kind of have a more braggadocious, like hustler kind of storytelling vibe to it that anyone can really relate to. And I think that's why it appeals to a lot of people.
Yeah, and then also like sometimes I feel like New York is more mainstream than LA, right? Like LA is like more exclusive in a sense, right? Whereas I think like New York is like anyone can make it here if you just hustle. So maybe that's like the appeal.
And most LA rappers are like gangbangers essentially. So
yeah, so it's like if you can't relate to that, it's bro, like I didn't gang like that. I already realized that we can't relate on that much because like you would have crossed the line that I wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
All right, man. So let's go into my review before we get out of here. I love the album, bro. Like I honestly wasn't gonna peep it because I was just like, I'll do whatever. Like it's it. I haven't heard his project in a few years. Whatever, right? I was working with my boy. He's like, bro, this album is like really resonating. I'm like, fuck, let me peep it. And bro, right from the jump, like, dude, it's funny. We're talking about two bad boy artists back to back. I think he's like somewhat signed a bad boy. But bro, like having Diddy on the intro and then the way the rest of the album flowed was just amazing, bro. And I think like, it was definitely to your point earlier, like, it's hard sometimes with certain artists like who try to just stay so nostalgic, right? And like, but dude, like this doesn't seem forced. This seems like this is just who, like, hey, I love this kind of music, and that's all I'm gonna make. And I hope you like, almost like Silk Sonic, right? It's like, we like.
Crazy, you keep bringing up all this shit that.
Oh really?
In my head right
I know what's here, but let me just take that real quick. It's like, bro, we're going to make this kind of music and then we're going to do it at the highest fucking level and we hope you enjoy it. And I just feel like that's what came through on this, bro. And like, there's so big, but it's like like a movie, he stayed in character throughout the shit, right? Obviously, there's certain references to modern day culture, but there's also certain rap lines that he stole or borrowed from other rappers from the 2000s. So like one example, I don't know which song it is, but there's a song like in the first 4 or 5 that he's like it's almost like a skit within the song that he's like, I know you from where? High school?
Oh yeah.
I don't know you, man.
Is that Big Pun, right?
That's Big Pun, right? Yeah. But you have to be a fucking New Yorker or a hip hop head to know that shit, right? Because dude, people aren't checking for Big Pun music. Obviously he's passed away, but like, you know, like new fans aren't going back and listening to that shit. Like you really need to know that album to really get that reference, right? And then there's just bars like, dude, like I love the fucking song Show Me. Like, bro, that's a fucking
everyone loves that fucking song.
Love song to the T. Like, bro, but that bar where he's like, Ma, close your legs so you can open up. I was like, bro, genius. You know what I mean? So like shit like that, bro. Like it's just like, I'm glad that it's hard to find artists, and we've been saying this for a while, that can have a cohesive body of work. But I feel like it has to be even harder for an artist that's making almost like the nostalgia play, but then be consistent for 53 minutes and 14 tracks. Like that's hard. You know what I mean? And I think that was the flawless. And then you have a fucking Nas popping up randomly and just, you know, it's like, bro, this guy clearly is beloved by all the old heads and just ran with it. So like, you have to give him a kudos. I would give this shit like a A, close to A. I mean, I don't think it's A plus, because like A plus is a very high, but I would give this shit an A, you know, a 9 out of 10. Like this shit was, phenomenal, bro. Like I almost like, I was surprised how many times I listened to this shit within like a 2-day span. I was like, yo, run it back. So shout out to Joey Badass, bro, because that was, again, I wasn't thinking much of it going into. Maybe that's what it is when you have like no expectation. This shit just fucking blows you away. Mm-hmm. But yeah, dude, I think it was a flawless body of work.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I'm curious how I'll feel about it in a couple of weeks. I definitely have my replayables on there right now, but I'm curious if any new songs will become my replayables or if any of my current ones will.
Yeah, dude,
kind of
that's a great point, because that's why I keep telling you, like, bro, like I send Blair random screenshots of my phone screen, and it's like, dude, I just found a new Baby Keem's on this album I fucking love. It's like, I didn't even know like Vent. Like I was just like. By the time I got to that part of the album, I was like, bro, like, whatever, it's fine. Like, let me get back to, like, family time. And, like, yo, Vent is, yeah. So, like, yeah, that's a great point, because I have, like, my 4 songs that I keep looking for while I have the album going. But, yeah, I wonder what's going to pop up, like, if I don't skip it. But that being said, let the people know, what is your heat of the week from the Joey Badass project?
Yeah, it's a tough one, but I'll just go with what I've been listening to mostly, and maybe it's kind of the recency bias. I know that's a phrase we like to use here. Cruise Control.
Okay, cool. You didn't pick the one I was going with. That makes me feel good.
Nice. Yeah, I figured you wouldn't pick that one. I figured it'd be something else. But I really like the vibe on this. I think it was one of those moments where I'm like, okay, he's not sticking to the same rapidy rap formula that he popularized or made him popular. He tried something different. I say different. That's how he would have said it. He tried something different, and I think it works extremely well. And I'm glad he took that risk, if he even considers it a risk. I think that's the one Nas is on as well. But yes, interestingly enough, that song kind of has I don't know if West Coast is really the region I was going for. It reminds me of some like 90s shit, but I can't pinpoint the region. It just doesn't sound like it belongs necessarily in any specific region. But I maybe I thought West Coast because I could see like a smooth West Coast rapper on it, like Larry June or some shit.
I agree with that take.
Yeah, but
is Larry June from LA?
He's from the Bay, San Francisco, I believe.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, Cruise Control's a good one. I added to the playlist, by the way. It's already up there. We'll make a couple more posts about that on TikTok and IG. Dude, I had a couple, man. It's so hard because it like the way the album starts. Like, dude, between Make Me Feel, Cruise Control, Zip Codes, Show Me, Wanna Be Loved. Dude, Survivor's Guilt is a phenomenal body, like a phenomenal song in itself. Like that song is a movie by itself. But bro, I gotta go with Where I Belong. Dude, that shit, talk about nostalgia. It's like Mobb Deep. Like that song is Mobb Deep through and through for me. Like I only hear Prodigy and Havoc on that song. And the fact that I can like hear past them and like properly appreciate what this dude is saying, bro, it's so good, bro. Like, and just like to your point, I think you were saying that you appreciate when he sings. Like, it's almost like it reminds me of like Man on the Moon singing. Like, yo, we don't appreciate it, but when you do it, it's like, bro, you can really sing in this tune. Like, it's good. So, like, I really enjoy the way, like, the hook, bro. Like, yo, I was like, yo, like, I would keep playing that. I'm like, yo, start it over, dog, because this shit is just hard. So, it has to be Where I Belong, bro, because I think any man can relate to that, bro. You don't have to be a gangbanger in the streets or whatever. It's just like, bro, like, there's gonna be moments where I know I fuck up in life, but I pray God has, grace on a nigga. So like, bro, like that whole fucking verse is just ridiculous to me.
Yeah, I forget how the song starts off, but he says something along the lines of like wanting the no tint so they could see who's in it or some shit. What does he say?
What does it say? I got the lyrics right here.
Did he put the lyrics? Oh, he said,
back on the set like I never
ain't
left.
No tints on my 2-door. I want to see. Ain't no tints on my 2-door. I want them to see it's us. Because if I paid enough, them fuckers better see me coming. Blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't know. I mean, obviously, like VVS up on your chest and shit, like you probably won't relate. But I think for me, I love this song because he's just feeling himself. Like he's happy with life.
Dude, but is this also the song where he's talking about like expenses, like, and giving people like investment tips?
That's not the one where he says my stock is like a teenage cock, is stay up, is it?
No, there's one song that's like your stock you never lose money in the stock in the stock market if you never take your money out. I'm really focused on taking the equity out and buying another house. Like he's giving like, it's not this song.
Oh, he mentioned stock on this album at least like 5 times.
Yo, but low key, like when he did shit like that, he's reminding me of like a young Jay-Z. Like it's not like, I'm not just rapping to brag. Like I'm actually giving you gems if you would just take note.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's also what I appreciate. Again, because let's fucking Google someone else's fucking age in this episode for the 3rd time. But I don't think he's that. I think he's still a very young dude, bro. Like,
yeah, he said, I know he said on Zip Codes, he said if rap was a stock, I have 100 million in evaluation.
Yeah, no, dude, there's some bars in this fucking album, stocks, bro. Yeah, dude, he's 26 years old, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, dude, 27 years old, turns 28 in January, born in 1995, bro. And this guy's talking about songs that he was probably only like 7 or 8 for when they came. Like, dude, like, and it's believable, bro. Like, it doesn't seem like a character. It doesn't seem like a gimmick to me. Like, I believe that I just fell in love with this genre of music, and I'm just gonna stick to that. And if you fuck with it, you're gonna love with it. And if you don't, then it's fine. No big deal. But like, yeah, bro, for me, Where I Belong, bro.
That Asian sample too in the background, whatever that's dude, from, super hypnotic.
Crazy, bro. Yeah. But you were saying that people love Show Me. You're saying like the YouTube numbers are crazy, the comments are crazy?
Yeah, because I don't know the band Men I Trust, but apparently they sampled that song, and I guess that song is super popular, and people are losing their minds because they're like, oh, one of my favorite rappers sampled one of my favorite songs, and like the marriage between the two is just, I guess, incredible. I mean, I love the song
I love the song, bro. And again, I just love when it reminded me of that song. Reminded me of DMX, How's It Going Down? Because it's like, yo, like to have a real hood dude still be able to talk to a girl on a very delicate, intimate level. It's like, bro, that's because again, we fucking respect women, like obviously, bro. But also where I gotta give him credit for, I don't remember exactly what song it was, but I did send it to my boy, so I'm just looking it up real quick. Dude, Head High. So that is a song that he could have easily not added to the album to not receive pushback, but he did, because that song is how long? I think like 2.5 minutes long, but it's 3 minutes long. 1.5 minutes of that song is him talking about his relation with XXXTentacion. Like, and it's like he could have easily just left that out. Like, yo, I don't want to get involved with this shit. And the fact that he had the balls to say, yo, he's a stand-up guy, looked out for me, invited me to stay in his house, blah, 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 took my criticism of his music well and changed it. Like, yo, like, I appreciate that, bro, because you don't have to, he's not here anymore. You're not going to get kudos from anyone for doing that, but you probably usually just get backlash, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So I really appreciate that, because that was a dope, storytelling, but also great insight, because on XXS last album, they had a song that was very well done as well.
Oh, word. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's on the one that's a question mark album. I'll send it to you. It's actually really good. That's probably the last Joey Badass song I actually heard, to be honest.
Oh, wow. You know what song didn't do anything for me really, and it was a disappointment, was the Chris Brown one. I was like,
yeah, dude, honestly, I was thinking about you for that one. That like, low key, that was like a throwaway song.
Yeah, it felt out of place. I mean, Chris Brown never sings bad, but the hook didn't like hit me. I was just like, what is this? It just felt random.
I wonder if it's because like we just can't, the idea of a Chris Brown over a somewhat poppy hip hop beat just doesn't go.
It's like too overpowering or something. Like I feel like for that kind of shit, you need like Blast or like just someone a little more low key, smooth. Like you don't need, like, Chris Brown's just overpowered on certain songs.
100%, dude. Like, yeah, 100%. That's why, dude, he resonated, because he came around the time where the sound was changing, and he was the standard for that now. But yeah, like if you're gonna make an old school track, you need like your Point Blast. I think even like a Ty Dolla $ign would be good on it. Like someone just very low key, like not to be a dick, like a true R&B singer, right? Like Chris Brown's an R&B rapper, pop. Like I don't know, there's just something, he's different. I totally agree with that. When I heard that song, I figured that would be the one song that I actually was looking forward to the most, and it did nothing for me.
Yeah, basically like the voice of someone who grew up in church singing.
Yeah, just didn't go. It just didn't go. Yeah. But I really enjoyed the Larry June song. And then I thought the baddest, the way like I could like I don't know if there's a video for that song yet, but like I could just imagine like it's like some old school Diddy on the piano, and then just Joey Badass on the mic, just like going bar and bar. Like, it's just super well done, man. So shout out to him. And I highly recommend, if you guys were debating about checking out that album, go check it out. You won't be disappointed. And if you are, leave it in the comments. That's all I got, brother. Anything you want to talk about before we get out of here?
No, we could end it short, or I guess not short. I think we went a little bit over, no?
Like an hour and a half, but it's all good. All right, cool. Let's wrap it up and let the people know where they can peep us, what we got going on. Let's get out of here.
For sure, you can check us out at audio-theory.com. You can get the merch there. Check out the Spotify, Apple Music playlist. New episode every single week. If you're interested in being interviewed, please reach out to us. You can email us, hit us up on Instagram, whatever the case is. Just include your music.
Yeah, but don't reach out for a Cash App, because we're not going to pay you.
Wait, was that chick on the Audio Theory page?
Yes, dude. So she.
I thought that was your private page for some reason.
No, dog. Go into it. It's there. It's like, so this woman, like, she reposted one of our stories from back in the day when we had another artist on. So we have like a history, and I appreciated her. And then she hits us up today and it's like, hey, and I'm like, what's up? I'm assuming, hey, you want to do an interview? You work with someone, like, what's good? And she's like, yo, I'm in a bind. Send me $200. I'll pay you back by Friday. I'm like, no, like, first of all, but that was the Audio Theory page.
The audacity, shit.
The audacity, bro. Like $200 because you did a repost back in June.
I don't know you, man. Too bad we couldn't just play that shit in the chat. Dude,
so good, so good.
Wow.
All right, but so check out the merch. We got some interviews down in the works, so peep that, and then obviously just keep sharing, commenting. Apparently IG is dead, so we're going to be even more active on TikTok more than ever. So look out for that. And bro, love catching up, my brother. We'll talk soon.
Same.
Love you, bro. Peace.